Okay, let me take
Nasir is an Ahmadi. He's
okay.
on stage.
Sorry, Nasir is okay. No problem. That's good. That's good. If Ahmadi brother is there and he want to give his point of view, is more than so. Nasir, you are more than welcome in the stream, and please unmute yourself and let us know what you want to say.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I wanted to talk about an issue that was discussed previously. I'm not sure if it is being addressed right now or if you would like to address it later on or if it's been addressed previously in the stream. So please let me know.
Nasir, if you let us know, are you an Ahmadi?
I am an Ahmadi, yes.
Okay, so let us know that what point with regard to this narrative you want to discuss.
So what I wanted to discuss is the quotation that was presented from Nasima Dawat. Is this what is currently being talked about? I have not been following the stream, so I don't know exactly, but I just saw that it is being live, so I joined.
So what is the exact point, Nasir, you want to tell? So let us know, inshallah. We can see if we can discuss.
Yeah, so it was regarding the criticism of Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Islam's description of Mary and how she was wed to Hazrat Yusuf and that whole narration that was described. Has this been addressed so far, or is it something that has not been addressed by Ahmadis?
No, that's fine, inshallah. This is the topic, definitely. So, Nasir, for example, first of all, obviously, let us know. Let me put on the screen first that how we basically summarize the narrative, so we can ask you that if there is anything in the summary on which you believe that we have misrepresented your position, inshallah, so you can correct us, because we don't want to misrepresent anybody's position. So give me 1 second.
No problem. Take your time.
Yeah, I pull on the screen first, and first let's see that if there's anything in the narrative itself which you want to contest.
Can you zoom in, please? I'm on my phone, so it's a bit small.
Yeah,
right
I'm just about to. Yeah, I'm just about to
Thank
zoom
you.
in. No problem. No, I will do that. I'm just trying to make sure that it is readable for everybody. Okay. So, is it good enough now, brother Nasir?
A little bit bigger would be nice, please.
Okay, not a problem. Not a problem.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
No worries at all. So let's go point to point, Nasir, and let's see first that if we have misrepresented or misattributed anything to your religion. So point number 1, as you can see, that Maryam alayhi salam had a kashf or dream to bear a child, and in that event she got pregnant. Is that correct?
We can just go one by one. I don't want to address everything. I want to see the summary, and then if my point is addressed.
Actually, I want to go, inshallah, point to point, no problem. But I just want to make sure first that are you owning the narrative, or you are contesting the narrative itself? For example, with regard to first point, is it the correct presentation of your point of view?
So I fully stand by what Hazur wrote in Nasima Dawat. If this is an accurate summary according to you, I will accept that.
I did not, but because I did not just base on something on one book. There are multiple dozens of quotations. So through all of that, I try to summarize the narrative. So first, I want to give you the opportunity that which point of the narrative you think that I have misrepresented.
I think my issue is not about the narrative, but it's about the framing and context of the narrative as presented in Nasima Dawat.
Okay, give me 1 second. So let me say something, and then shall we move on? So basically, Nasir, you agree that I did not misrepresented Ahmadi narrative when I tried to summarize that in these 6 points. Agree?
Well, that's why if we can look at all 6 points quickly. I don't want to go one by one because I don't want to delay this unnecessarily.
No problem.
If we can just read it, and then that's fine.
Yeah. Okay, no problem. Let me read it for you and for everybody. So point number 1, Maryam alayhi salam had a kashf or dream to bear a child, and she got pregnant through that dream or kashf. Point number 2, she hid the dream. We are not giving the reason at this day, but she hid the dream, and in doing so, gave good reasons to the elders to suspect her pregnancy. Point number 3, Point number 3, in order to cover up the entire matter and to give this impression that it's a legitimate child born of a normal couple, family forced Maryam into a nikah with Joseph, and the family knows well that this nikah is against the Sharia law of Moses or law of Torah, but just protecting, they wanted to protect the dignity of the family. So that's why they did this. And then point number 4, in this way, the entire matter got covered. Okay, and point number 5, how, when, and why then people raised objection against this birth as matter was covered up. This is a puzzle. We don't know that how then this thing happened. So as per Mirza Ghulam, it was covered up for 2 to 4 years. And as per second caliph, it was covered up to 30 years. Okay, these are two positions found in the Ahmadiyya literature. And then point number 6 is MGA concedes that nikah was against the law of Allah, i.e., the law of Torah of that time, but wants us to have mercy on the family as they were forced into this forced by the situation. So before we move any further, I'm giving you, Nasir, the opportunity that let me know that for which of these 6 points you want to see the evidence.
Okay, so from what I see, like you said, this is a compilation from different portions of Rouhani Khazain, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Rouhani
so in my point,
yeah. Primarily Rouhani Khazain, but for very minor information, Mirza Bashiruddin Mahmud, the second caliph.
right. So I will stick to talking about Rouhani Khazain and the works of Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Islam.
Why is
And
that?
in my
No,
point of view,
wait, Nasir, you need to.
and I'll explain why.
Yeah.
I'll explain why.
Yeah.
Because from what I see here,
Yeah.
And I'm not being nitpicky or anything. I'm being trying to be very fair with you.
That's fine.
I see what you've tried to do. You've tried to present the Ahmadiyya narrative, basically, on Hazrat Maryam, right?
Yeah.
So that's fair, no problem. I would disagree with your approach of including the quotation from Nasim Dawat in this narrative. Okay, and I'll give you a reason why. Okay, I do not think that the quotation in Nasim Dawat should be attributed to Ahmadiyya theology or our understanding of Islamic theology. Okay, and the reason I say this,
Nasir, can just a quick comment, Nasir, because then I might forget this point. Nasir, look, basically, I'm giving you first this opportunity that okay, you want to stick with Mirza Ghulam, no problem. Even though I have serious objection on that, but that's fine. Okay, that's fine. So you tell me that 6 points I have summarized. Which one of these 6 points you are contesting?
So I believe that. Well, you haven't mentioned which book each is from, but I believe this point 2 is from Nasim Dawat, right?
Look, I said because just give you the why did I mention, because Nasir, in the previous
I'm not being nitpicky. It's okay if you didn't mention it. I understand.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I believe you. I believe you're honest. That's fine. Nasir, in the previous stream, we already had a back and forth with regard to what the narrative is. Okay.
Right.
And today I was specifically focusing on the point that why, because I was being asked by the questioning Ahmadis that if Quran is silent, if the narrative doesn't sound very nice, it does not mean that it's against the Quran. So today I was primarily focused on that one. But again, it's my responsibility that, and let me repeat one thing very clearly, I did not base this narrative on any single book of Mirza Ghulam. You point out anything, and inshallah, let's see that if on that particular point did I only based on one book, one quotation, or did I went through the entire literature to justify that point. So if you can pick a point, Nasir, it will make it easy for us.
Yes, I'm going to go even more generic than that because my point of view is different than my approach is different than you're probably used to with other Ahmadis.
That's fine. That's fine. You have right to. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Your document is fine in terms of this is your understanding of what the Ahmadiyya narrative is on Hazrat Maryam, right? This is what you gleaned from the works of Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, which is fine. But my point of view would be that anything mentioned here from Nasim Dawat, okay, should not be considered the Ahmadiyya narrative, and I'll give you reasons why. Okay.
Yeah.
And if you understand the reason why, then I think you will agree with me that it isn't something that should be included as the official narrative. The book Nasim Dawat was written as a response to Hindus who had made various allegations against Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and in their allegations they had used very foul language, and in response to this tactic of theirs, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad alayhi salam wrote this book, and the section that contains this quotation that was read on your live stream that you read in Urdu and English and you translated, and I have no problem with the translation or anything. That section has to be understood in the context of the book. And I personally, I don't know, I didn't watch the whole stream, so correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think the context of the book was addressed when presenting that quotation. And I think it's very important to present that context so that you know where it fits. And if looking at this document, and I'm just saying very honestly, right, we all make mistakes. I probably make more mistakes than anybody. But sometimes when you don't know the context, you obviously can misunderstand the writings. So,
Nasir, can I respond to this point? Is okay?
Please.
Okay. So Nasir, look at this one. From the entire narrative, if you will point out anything and you can specify what you are referring to, it will make people, for you and for me, to understand. Because here's my claim. Alhamdulillah, I did not take any single thing in this narrative out of context. I said earlier, this narrative is not based on one book. This narrative is based on, for example, I give you one example. You know, Nasir, that Malfuzat is a very extensive collection of Mirza Ghulam's, discussions, etc. I literally have consulted all 10 volumes of Malfuzat, and I went on reading every single, without exception, every single reference when Mirza Ghulam spoke about this matter of Maryam alayhi salam and this marriage, etc. And I consulted all of that. Why? Because it is dishonesty that if I don't read a person all of his references on that particular matter before I make up my mind or before I give any conclusion. So, Nasir, to make it simple and understandable for us and for the audience, tell me one thing which I am calling as the Ahmadiyya narrative, which you think is only based on Naseem Dawat.
No, that's not what I said. What I'm saying is, I'd have no problem with you summarizing our what you believe our understanding of Hazrat Maryam is. And that's a very good initiative to do, and it's commendable. My only thing is, if you include that, sorry, it's a bit loud here. Can you hear me properly?
Yes, we can. Loud and yes, clear.
My only point would be that if in this 6-point summary you have included any point from page 381 of Naseem Dawat, then that should not be included. And
okay, can I respond?
And I'll explain why. Maybe if I explain why, maybe
I know. No.
Okay.
Look, Nasir, why you already explained why already, because you said that that book has a look. Nasir,
I know I didn't finish my explanation. I was just giving that was just the start of it.
And
I
Nasir,
can
can
yeah,
I
please.
just make one comment? Is it okay? Is it okay, Nasir?
Yes, please.
Okay. Look, Nasir, instead of we talking in in some what you can say that in the air, please tell me that which part. Please understand my question, Nasir, because I want to make it easier for the audience to follow our conversation. Please tell me one point, any one single point, which you believe that point is just based on one quotation of Naseem Dawat and the entire context is ignored, etc. Because if we will just keep talking in abstract way, we're not getting anywhere, because we're talking for the last 5 minutes and we're not getting anywhere. You are seemingly agreeing with me with the narrative. You are seemingly agreeing with me with my methodology, but I don't know then what objection is. So my request, Nasir, is if you can point that one thing in which you have maybe got this impression that this one thing as a part of the entire narrative is only based on one single book and that is out of context. Please point out that thing.
Yes, brother. So maybe I wasn't clear. I mentioned point number 2, or maybe you didn't hear me. And
Okay.
I don't agree with any point in here. And only number 2 seems to stand out to me at this point as being from Naseem Dawat. You can correct me if I'm wrong. If it's any other book, please let me know. But just as a quick glean, point number 2 seems to be from Naseem Dawat. And
okay, no problem. Let me bring on the screen point number 2, so inshallah we can have a more concrete discussion on point number 2. Let me just bring it on the screen so we can.
Imtiaz bhai,
Yeah.
could you bring the actual quote from Naseem Dawat? Yes, exactly.
Yes, I'm going to bring it. Just give me 1 second,
There you go.
inshallah. I just want to put thing on the screen and then inshallah we will discuss it properly. So this is right now the quotation, and instead of giving you this quotation, just let me actually pull out the whole Naseem Dawat volume 19. So just be with me, brother Nasir. You can
no problem. Take your time.
Yeah, Nasir, you can make your point, inshallah. In the meantime, I'm going to bring the whole page on the screen, so inshallah we can have even more good discussion. So inshallah you can make your point, inshallah. Yeah, you can make your point.
I don't want to speak and you're doing something else, so you can bring the page to the front and I'll wait. It's not a problem.
Okay, no problem. Just let me just bring that, inshallah. So what page number was that?
Imtiaz bhai, while you look for it, can I say something, please?
Bismillah. Bismillah. Yeah. Bismillah.
I think the point that Nasir is trying to make, if I'm understanding it correctly, he's saying that the narrative that has been put together as to the Ahmadi position versus the pregnancy and the subsequent marriage of Hazrat Maryam to Joseph, what he's saying is that this should not be taken as a matter of aqidah for Ahmadis, that Maryam has a share in the fault of the Jews. I think this is what he's trying to say, that if we are saying that this is the narrative that has been put together, he says he has no problem with that because you're getting the material from the Ruhani Khazain. But to say that Ahmadis stand on this aqidah, he disagrees with that. Did I summarize that correctly, Nasir?
Yeah, so my point basically is the same. Any point in these 6 points that has been gleaned from Nasim Dawat should not be considered Ahmadi Aqidah regarding Hazrat Maryam and Hazrat Isa.
Okay. Before, inshallah, I'm almost
I
there.
don't know,
So
and
can
you have the
you,
references here, so you can,
yeah,
but
inshallah,
I don't mind, we can go through the page.
Yeah, just give me 1 second, because you said something. I want to understand your position properly. You said, tell me that what is the foundation of Ahmadi Aqidah? How you drive Ahmadi Aqidah? Tell me, please. I'm talking to you,
Ahmadi
Nasir.
Aqidah,
Yeah.
yes. Ahmadi Aqidah is
Yes.
based on Ruhani Khazain, and
Okay.
Ruhani Khazain is a compilation of many books that have different purposes.
Okay.
So you have to understand the purpose of each book and the theses that is being presented by Mirza Ghulam Ahmad alayhi salam,
Mm-hmm.
so that you have a better idea of what his belief is, as opposed to what he's articulating for a particular audience. So that's what I wanted to get into. I don't really need to speak to
Okay. Now I'm going to
it.
share my screen.
And
I have opened the relevant page, so inshallah we can have a more concrete discussion. Just it's almost there. So yes, Ruhani Khazain. Is it on the screen now?
I believe so. If you could just zoom in, please. Is there a way to hide this?
Yeah, I will hide. But can you see the screen now?
I can see the screen. No, I'm seeing if there's a way to hide something on my screen. Yes.
Okay, just give me 1 second, because I want to put that point number 2 on the screen. So yes, so we can see that how you will explain this. So I think now, is it good enough for you to read?
I won't be able to read it because it's very small.
Okay, how about now?
It's still very small for me.
I think it's just a bit of lag, inshallah, but it will become bigger.
Okay, I can try anyway. It's not a problem. So
Give me 1 second. I will make it as big as which can be. Obviously, I want you to read and tell us that what we are not understanding properly. So I don't want to leave any doubt, inshallah, in anybody's mind.
okay, so
I believe that I believe that it is good enough now for to read, I guess.
if you could only see my screen. It's okay.
No,
We can work
look,
with this. Fine.
see, I can read for you if you like. Do you want me to read?
So if you can just scroll down, which page number is this?
Page, because we are reading right now page number 380. You can
380.
open up. You can open up from your side as well. That's fine.
I'm on my cell phone, and the way this website works on the cell phone, I can't see everything if I want to see my notes at the same time. Right?
Take your time. Take your time. You can open. It's up to you. If you want me, I can start reading
Okay,
the whole
so I
narrative.
think so my point is about the context of the narrative. So for my point of view, to illustrate that properly, if we can go to page 371, I believe.
Okay, no problem. I go to 371, and I want you to tell us that what in that context would be, which will change what we are reading. So 370,
Yes, of course.
370? Sorry, 370, what?
371.
371. Okay, so you want me to go basically 10 page before, right?
Yes, please.
Okay, no problem. 370, and this is 371. Okay, 371 now. Yes.
Can you please scroll down a bit?
Okay, scrolling down. Let me know that where you want me to stop, and I'm scrolling down the page.
Sorry, 1 second. This section right here, this is the main portion which starts the discussion that continues on to 381.
This tabdeel mazhab ke liye jiska ilm darka, this one?
Yes.
Okay, please, let now. Yeah.
If you can
please,
scroll down, more, a little bit more.
Yes, I am now almost towards the end of the page, because there's a bit of lag, when I am doing
Oh, I
things, and
understand.
then
Yeah, so we're at the end of the page. So I wanted to highlight that this is where the section starts. I believe the next page is where he outlines the 3 points.
Okay, I am scrolling towards the next page. So let me know where you want me to stop.
Yeah, please keep going. Keep going. Yeah, keep going, please. Yeah, more. Keep
Next
going.
page, you want me
Yeah, next page. Yeah.
Okay.
Keep going. Yeah. Okay, right here.
Okay.
So let's go back up to where the paragraph starts, I believe.
No problem. Let me know if it's good enough or you want me to.
Where the paragraph starts, please. Okay, so बस सुनो और खूब खोल कर सुनो. Sorry, this is very small for me. कि तब्दील मज़हब के लिए तमाम जरायात की. This is very small.
Let me read. Let me read. Let me read. It says
Okay.
that पस सुनो और खूब कान खोल के सुनो कि तब्दील मजहब के लिए तमाम जुजियात की तफ्शीश कुछ ज़रूरी नहीं, बल्कि सच्चाई की तलाश करने वाले के लिए मज़ाहिब मौजूदा का बाहिम मुकाबला करते वक्त और फिर इनमें से सच्चा मजहब शनाख्त करने के लिए सिर्फ 3 बातों का ख्याल रखना ज़रूरी है. अव्वल
Okay.
ये कि
That's fine
अव्वल
for
ये
now.
सॉरी
Because I don't know how many of our audience members understand Urdu, but I think you've understood what this is saying, right?
Okay, let me tell them. Okay, Mirza
Okay.
Ghulam is saying that listen this attentively. He is just saying as I say. He said that listen this attentively. That in order to understand the matter of changing religion, you don't have to search or research every single small detail of different religions. Rather, in order to have the comparative study or comparative or comparison of different religion, you only need to go for these 3 things. And then he says that these 3 things are following. Yes.
Okay, so now these 3 things he's elaborated in detail. I've summarized them on my own. I can read the summary, or if you want, we can read the Urdu.
Actually, brother Nasir, look, first
This,
of
this is
all,
this is important for my point, basically.
that's fine. That's fine. Let me say something before you
Sure.
start your point. Basically, Mirza Ghulam Qadiani, he and Dr. Yahya knows this. He said last time, and I agree with him. He brought everything on the matter of Sayyida Maryam alayhi salam, which was being said by the Jews, etc. After that, he is concluding on that matter. So you said that when I was giving that quotation, it was not actually his position. Is that what you said? If I understood properly?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
No, look,
He's
look.
not presenting the Jewish position.
Nasir, bit by bit, bit by bit. So
Yeah.
when obviously Mirza Ghulam Qadiani, and inshallah, if you like, I can give you the reference. He said that he researched through all of that, and finally, this is the Fazil Jewish sources or source which has given him satisfying answer. My question to you is, what I presented, was that representing Mirza Ghulam's position on this matter or not?
What you have presented from the Sima Dawat is not Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Islam's position.
Okay, whose position was that?
That's exactly the point. In this
Yes, please.
in this section,
Yeah, yeah,
Hazur is saying that if
yeah.
you want to know what a true religion is, you have to compare their teachings.
Okay.
So he is now venturing into 3 aspects of teachings that should be looked at, and he's challenging Christians and Hindus to look at their teachings from those 3 points of view and compare it to Islam, and they will see that Islam presents a much more favorable, understandable, lovable concept of God than any other religion. So the explanation that he gives in this section is not from Islamic sources. It's not from Jewish sources. He gives explanations from Christian sources to show that the Christian ideas that were prevalent at the time do not match Islam's superiority.
Your voice has disappeared, Nasir. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me? Sorry, one second. Can you hear me?
Is it just me or everybody has lost him?
No, I can't hear him either.
Can you hear me?
Nasir, I think your tab, your Nasir, your tab, YouTube tab is open. Please close that tab because I can
Can you hear me
have the
now?
echo. Yes, yes.
Sorry, I
So
got a
Nasir,
WhatsApp call in the middle. That's why it cut the audio.
Nasir, because Nasir, I want to make it like a more engaging. So inshallah, let's go point to point. You said that the information that's being presented, that is not the position of Mirza Ghulam. He is quoting the Christian. What I mean about what you said this the one I'm representing, that when he is commenting and when he is telling us about the Maryam alayhi salam hiding, etc., or about what you said that it's from the Christian sources, because
Okay.
there's no Christian sources which have the information.
Okay, no problem. So if we can go to, so I think you understood my point, right?
No, I
That
did not. I
no,
did
I
not.
mean in terms of what Hazur is presenting in this section. Did that come out through the
No,
audio
I
or
did
no?
not. Because no, look, it's not that what Mirza Ghulam is saying is. Look, understand the question, Nasir, so we can have more fruitful discussion. My question is, you need to tell us that what is it which I am quoting out of context, because my claim is, and I have multiple evidence. I'm saying it repeatedly on point number 2 as well. This whole narrative, Mirza Ghulam has conceded multiple times that he took this. Mirza Ghulam rejected the Christian narrative on this matter. He called it fabrication and superficial, and he sided with the Jewish narrative and he praised that Jew. He said that this particular, which he did not tell us which one was it, he just, it's unknown source. He said this one particular learned Fazil Yehudi, this particular learned Jew has solved the whole matter. What I'm trying to say, Nasir, is I will not allow you just to make this statement and just to get away with that Mirza Ghulam was quoting such and such. No, Mirza Ghulam was giving his conclusion after understanding, reading all of those sources. This is the point. You need to tell me that where I'm wrong.
Yeah, so what I'm saying, again, brother, please try to understand what I'm saying. Nasima Dawat cannot be used as an exposition on Ahmadiyya position of Hazrat Isa, Hazrat Maryam, or any of the people that we revere. That's what I'm saying.
Why?
Exactly. Now, this is what I'm trying to explain through the context of the text. Okay? The text, Azur is explaining that Islam's teachings is better than Christianity and Hinduism in three respects. Okay? And in this page, he mentions those three respects. It says Awal, Dom, and Som. Okay? The first point.
Yes. I'm going to just scroll down to the second and third as well, so people can see that one as well. Just give me 1 second.
Yeah, no problem.
So this is the second.
Yeah.
So first he said about Tawheed and said that दूसरे तालिब हक के लिए देखना जरूरी होता है कि इस मजहब में जिसको पसंद करे इसके नफ्स के बारे में और ऐसा ही आम तौर पे इंसानी. So I am not getting your point. I would be very honest with you.
Just sabr. You'll get my point. You'll get my point. I promise you. I promise you. You'll get my point.
I respect your promise, but let me make my point, Brother Nasir. Look, Mirza Ghulam is saying something on the matter of Sayyida Maryam alayhi salam. That is, it's an entire, obviously, you agree with me, Mirza Ghulam was not present at that time. Nobody can deny that. It's a matter of unseen. And he never said that on this matter, Allah has sent him any revelation as well, because he clearly said that he is researching through all of what has been said on this matter. And after that, Nasir, that is the key point you are not maybe, engaging with. After all of that, he is giving his understanding of the matter. And let me, even from the Nasimi
No, I disagree with you, brother. I disagree with you. Okay. And the text will show it.
Okay, look, see, now I let you, inshallah, I let you make your point precisely on this one, that why you are saying that on this matter, which is a khabar, it's not, it's a khabar of unseen. You agree with me, right?
I disagree with you.
Okay, for example, when Maryam having dream, angel coming, etc., it's a khabar or not?
No, I disagree with you because I disagree with you because you don't
understand. Let's see. Look. Let's make it engaging. Let me understand that what exactly you say. I'm saying that there is something happened in the past, right?
Yes.
Mirza Ghulam is quoting that. Is it a khabar of the past or not?
It is.
Okay. Now, number two, Mirza Ghulam was not present when these things were happening, right?
Correct.
Okay. Where did he get this from?
The Gospels.
Okay. Now, in the Gospel, it's not present.
I can show you.
Okay, so you need to show me from the Gospel, because in this way you will be going to contradict Mirza Ghulam himself. And let me tell you why. Because Mirza Ghulam, he compared the Gospel narrative of Joseph and the Jewish literature narrative of Joseph, and he declared the Gospel narrative as fabrication and superficial narrative, and he sided with the Jewish narrative. Okay,
I agree with
now
you.
You need, no problem. Now it's your turn.
The reason I'm agreeing with you is because I'm sorry to speak over you. Because I think you're not understanding that I'm trying to.
Point to point. You said that it is found, this narrative, which in the Sime Dawat Mirza is quoting, it is in the Gospel. Please pull up that Gospel.
Okay.
Pull up, please.
Please let me finish my argument, and I'll show you that. I promise you, I'll show you. Okay.
Okay.
This is my first time on your stream. I don't think I've been disrespectful.
No.
Please.
Did I?
But I know. I'm just saying. You don't need to. Sorry. Let me just move. There's some more people that came where I'm sitting. I do wish to show it to you systematically. I don't want to be jumping the gun or anything either.
Can I make a small comment before we say something else, Brother Nasir?
Please, go ahead.
Okay, first of all, Nasir, we want to not create any confusion. Did I disrespect you?
No. I'm not saying you disrespected me. I'm just saying I hope you don't think I'm disrespecting you.
No, you are not. You are not. We are both trying to understand our position, right?
Correct.
So basically, my request is that you said that this narrative Mirza Ghulam took from Gospel.
Correct.
I have told you that this is against what Mirza Ghulam himself has said. If you still insist to say this, please produce evidence.
Okay, let me ask you a question then to clarify.
Yes.
You're saying that the statement that you just made that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad al-Islam did not take it from the Gospel. Is that what you said?
Let me repeat again.
Please repeat it a little bit slower so I can.
No problem. The subject of discussion is Joseph and Maryam narrative this is the matter of discussion.
Correct.
I am saying that Mirza Ghulam on this matter, he rejected the gospel narrative because in the gospel narrative it's different, and he sided with the Jewish narrative. But
Okay,
you made
perfect.
the claim, Nasir, that he took it from the gospels. Okay, I
Okay,
said
yeah.
that produce evidence.
Okay, now my question to you,
Yeah,
this statement that he rejected the gospel narrative,
yeah.
are you taking that from the Sima Dawat or from another book?
Okay, let me bring the screen share so we can
No,
both
no,
read
it's
together.
just a yes or no. It's just a yes. I don't need to see it. I believe you.
It's not from Nasime Dawat.
That's my
It's
point.
not from Nasime.
That's my point.
What's your point?
My point is the description or that narrative given in Nasima Dawat is meant to show Christians from their own sources that their beliefs do not meet the caliber of Islamic beliefs. That's what Hazur is doing in this book.
Okay, here's my comment. Look, brother Nasir, as a human being, I will have 100% respect for you, but I will not allow you to make a statement and get away with that. You
Well, I
are
do want to show you,
confused.
but we keep stepping backwards.
No problem. Show me. Show me. Show me.
Can you please bring the book back on the screen?
Which book? No. Look, you said you want to show the gospel.
Yes. So can you go back to the screen and I'll show you
Nasir, can I
Mirza
look?
Ghulam Ahmad.
Nasir,
And I want to make sure
you
that
said,
we both
and
understand what he's
yeah,
saying.
Nasir, yes, Nasir, look.
And we won't go into detail. I don't want to read it word for word. I'll just show you the
Okay,
headings and I'll make my point clear.
wait, Nasir, wait. Nasir, you said that we want to go in a systematic way, right?
I do.
I
I have
want to go.
I have our notes here that I would like to go through systematically.
That's fine. That's fine. Your
Yeah.
notes are respectful, no problem. What I'm saying is, in a systematic way, we cannot make a point and then move on. You made a point. You said that the
I-
narrative, which wait,
yes.
the narrative which is Mirza Ghulam is giving us regarding this marriage issue. You said that this narrative in Nasime Dawat is found in the gospel. Look, we don't need to move
Yes, that's
forward
correct.
without
I said that. You asked me a
all,
question and I answered it
all
directly.
look, Nasir, all I want is obviously Nasime Dawat is not the gospel. Gospel is a separate book. You said canonical gospel. You said it very specifically. So I want to see from the canonical gospel where is this narrative found.
I will show you the 7 verses that are regarding this. Okay. But after making sure that we both understand what Hazur is talking about in these pages and the audience, because I believe this was discussed in the previous team. And it's very important that because not everyone is able to read the Urdu, not everyone has access to it. It's very important that we all understand what Hazur is talking about, what Mirza
Are you
Ghulam
able,
Ahmad.
are you able to read the Urdu fluently, brother Nasir?
I am. It's just that I'm on my cell phone. I can send you a screenshot of how small this looks for me. Okay.
That's
It's
fine.
just
I just want to know. I just want to
I
know
am.
because I felt that maybe having difficulty in reading. I felt
No. It's just you have no idea how small it is right now. It's in a
No,
a
that's fine.
quarter of my screen.
That's fine. Just to clarify. So now, tell me which page you want to read from the Nasime Dawat, so I
Okay.
can. My
So
screen is. I think my screen is visible now. I believe.
it's visible. So this page outlines the 3 characteristics that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad is saying make Islam's teaching superior to everybody else. We can go to the next
Okay.
page. Well, this is 74. Keep going, please. This is the 3rd point. Yeah, keep going. Next page. Next page. Yeah, next page. We can probably go to 380, I think, if
Yeah,
I'm not
that's exactly.
mistaken.
Yeah, no problem. We
Okay,
can go
actually, no,
through.
stop. Go back. It was 376. Okay,
Yes.
let's go up.
Yes.
Let's go up one more paragraph.
Yes.
Okay, this paragraph right here. अब हम
Yep.
नाज़रीन पर बड़े ज़ोर से इस बात का सबूत ज़ाहिर करते हैं कि ये तीनों किस्म की खूबियां महज इस्लाम में पाई जाती हैं और बाकी जिस कदर मज़ाहिब रुए ज़मीन पर हैं, क्या आर्या और क्या ईसाई और क्या कोई और मज़हब, वो इन sorry, that's very small.
से गुना.
से गुना खूबियों से खाली हैं और हम तौल बयान से परहेज करके हर एक खूबी के ज़ेल में इस्लाम और
इन दोनों मजहबों का कुछ जिक्र करेंगे.
इन दोनों मजहब का कुछ जिक्र करेंगे. So now that he's starting the discussion, okay? He explains why Islam is superior and what criteria people should use when trying to figure out which religion is true. And now he's going to do a detailed analysis of Christianity and Hinduism from their own sources.
Okay.
Okay. So Awal, the section here. अव्वल खुदा ताला के मतलब ईसाई साहिबों और आर्या साहिबों की क्या तालीम है और कुरान करीम की क्या तालीम है. So now he's taking the first point and he's analyzing the concept of God in Islam versus the concept of God in Christianity versus the concept of God in Arya, so that the reader can see whose concept is better. Okay.
Okay.
So now in this section, he addresses and analyzes the nature of the Christian deity.
Okay.
He analyzes the claim of Christians make of why Hazrat Isa alayhi salam is God.
Mhm.
He analyzes the naming of the Trinity. He analyzes the miracles of Hazrat Isa. He analyzes
Mhm.
the virgin birth, and he analyzes the uniqueness of the virgin birth. And then in that topic, he talks about Hazrat Maryam. Okay.
Okay.
So the
Okay.
context here is Hazur is talking to Christians
Okay.
from their sources to show them what their beliefs are. It's not
Okay.
about his Aqidah. It's not
Wait, wait,
about the
wait,
Jewish
wait,
Aqidah.
wait, wait, wait.
But
No, no, wait.
I'll show you the verses.
Yeah, no, no, no. Let me keep moving on this one, so we
Yeah.
can get to the actual, because you said that we started like 10 page before. That's fine. This is your right. I have no problem. So now I want to go to the actual page as well, which is being read. So so you can explain for us that all of that what we have seen as a context, what makes it invalid, and what makes it the point that this was not Mirza Ghulam giving his conclusion, rather just quoting the Christians. Okay.
I think
So
that the portion that I just explained makes it very clear that the whole discussion going forward is
yeah.
comparing Christian thought to Islamic
Yeah.
thought, comparing Hindu thought
Okay,
to Islamic thought.
wait, brother.
Yeah, no problem.
What you have quoted, brother Nasir, so far. You said that Mirza Ghulam was going to compare these three religions, Christianity, Hinduism, and Islam, and he was going to prove that Islam is better on the basis of the 3-point criteria, right?
Correct.
Okay, now basically we have listened all of that. What I want from you, Nasir, is that this is the quotation which is under discussion right now. You are claiming, brother Nasir, that this narrative which is found on this page of Nasim Dawat, it is actually found in the Christian literature, and you said specifically in the canonical gospel. So are you aware of what is said here?
Can you please say that last part again? Am I aware of what?
Are you aware of that what narrative is mentioned on this page, which you are saying, which Mirza Ghulam has claimed in the previous pages that he will be bringing from the Christian sources? What I am saying is there are two possibilities. I let you comment and I let you tell us. One possibility is Mirza Ghulam was lying. It's a possibility because this is not found in the Christian canonical gospel. Second possibility, Mr. Nasir, is that Mirza Ghulam was ignorant of the Christian sources. So and you have every right to deny both options, but then you have an obligation. You need to establish this narrative, and I will read the narrative first. So because this is the problem, Nasir, that if we do not have something in front of us, what we are going to establish from a source, there's no point to go to that source. So let me read, because I gave you the time. We have read many pages. Now I want to read this entire narrative. It's just 1.5 pages. I'll go very quickly, and then I'll let you produce this from canonical gospel. Is it okay, brother Nasir?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, so I'm going to read now this Ruhani Khazain, volume 19, page 381. So it says that लेकिन हजरत मरियम पे तोहमत लगाई गई और इस तोहमत ने हजरत ईसा के विलादत के अजूबा को खाक में मिला दिया। मगर इस तोहमत में सिर्फ यहूदियों का कसूर नहीं, बल्कि खुद हजरत मरियम से एक बड़ी भारी गलती हुई. It says that Sayyida Maryam alayhi salam, maazallah, she was accused, and this accusation ruined or humiliated the miracle of the birth of Isa alayhi salam. But in this accusation, the entire blame is not just on the Jews. Rather, there is a great mistake or error, which the right word is error. There's a great error which happened on the part of Maryam as well, जिसने यहूद को तोमत का मौका दिया. And this is the great error on the part of Maryam which gave Jews an opportunity to raise accusation. और वो ये कि जब इसने अपने कश्यप में फरिश्ता को देखा, and what was the mistake of Mary or Maryam, that when she had the kashf, and inshallah I will let you explain what kashf is. So in the kashf, or in a state of something between the sleep and awakening, when she saw the angel, and the angel gave her the glad tidings of being pregnant, and then on purpose Maryam hid that dream, and she did not basically I am translating it inshallah when I'm going along. And she on purpose, Maryam, hid the dream, and she did not mention the dream to anyone. क्योंकि इसके माँ और बाप दोनों ने, because both of her parents, they have taken a promise with Allah that she will be dedicated to the worship of temple, और वो हमेशा, and she will always remain as unmarried and dedicated to the temple worship, और कभी खामन ना करेगी, and she will never ever get married. और बतूल का लक़ब इसको दिया गया, and she was given the title of Virgin Mary. और इसने और इसने आप भी अहद किया था खामन नहीं करेगी. And Maryam herself had this promise that she with Allah that she will never get married or and she will serve the temple. अब इस ख्वाब देखने से इसको ये खौफ पैदा हुआ. After she had the dream, she was afraid. अगर मैं लोगों के पास जाहिर करते, if I revealed my dream to the people, that the angel has given me the angel has visited me and given me the glad tidings of a son, then the people will think that I wanted to marry. इसलिए बस ख्वाब को अंदर दबा गई. That's why she hid the dream within herself. लेकिन वो ख्वाब सच्ची थी, but the dream was true and she got pregnant. And Maryam was ignorant of this pregnancy for a long period of time. मुद्दत के लिए, for a long period of time she was ignorant of that. Okay. And but when the 5th month has gone on the pregnancy, and the rumors were spread that Maryam is pregnant, and then she tried to tell her dream to the people, but it was useless to tell the dream to the people at that time. Ultimately, the elders, they for the purpose of hiding, pardaposhi ke taur pe, for the purpose of hiding the matter, they had a person with the name of Joseph the carpenter, and they married Maryam with Joseph the carpenter. And just to make one quick point, that Joseph the carpenter was not agreed, he was forced, and he was agreed forcefully to have this nikah. And then it says that is tarah pe ye nishan muqaddar ho gaya, not muqaddar, muqaddar ho gaya, which means that in this way, like the mirror becomes, like blind. It says that in this way. In which way? In Maryam hiding the dream, and then people accusing, and then she being married, etc. In is tarah se ye nishan muqaddar ho. In this way, this miraculous birth was tainted, was ruined. Rahi Hazrat Masih ki pishin goi. And then after that he continues on the story of on the subject of prophecies of Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam. So basically now we will ask you, brother, that you need to produce this from the canonical gospels.
Yeah, no problem. So can we just go one page back? There's one line that's very important to read. Slowly. Sorry, I'm just trying to read it very carefully. Can you go up, please? Okay, so there's a line here. I don't see it right now. It's maybe a little bit more up or a little bit down.
No problem.
Where Azur says that he separates Hazrat Maryam of the Holy Quran from Hazrat Maryam of, as mentioned in the Gospel.
Wait.
Yes, please.
So before you build anything on this one, so let's make the point. Are you going to take a position that there were two Maryams?
No. I'm sticking to my original point that he's criticizing the Christian belief as found in the Gospels. Okay,
Wait a second.
He also gives a caveat. He gives a caveat and calls Hazrat Maryam Siddiqa.
Brother Nasir, look, wait. Inshallah, I will not let go that caveat unaddressed as well, but I want to go point to point.
Sure, no
right now, you are going to produce the narrative which I have read from the canonical Gospels.
Yes. So what I will say is, Zuhr has given a very detailed narration of what happened, and all of these details you won't find exactly in the Bible or in the New Testament.
None of it is
no,
in the Bible.
You will find some of it. You'll find some of it. If you've ever studied the Gospel,
Nasir,
you'll know that there's...
Nasir, please. I don't want to...
We can go straight to the verse. I don't want to waste your time either. We can go straight to the verse. If you can open up Matthew 1:18-25.
Wait. I will definitely, inshallah, I'll bring on the screen. So the point we both have discussed, and now the point is that I have read the Mirza Ghulam's narrative he has given on this page, and alhamdulillah, there was no one-liner. I have gone 10 pages before whatever you said. Now you are going to produce this narrative from the Gospels which are found within the canon, right?
Yes.
Okay. So now tell me that which page, which Gospel?
So you can go to the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 1.
Wait. Okay, just one second. Gospel.
No, take it in.
Yeah.
Have you ever studied the Gospels? Just by the way.
Alhamdulillah, I have a complete research, inshallah, on the Gospels as well. Alhamdulillah.
Okay. So you know its style of writing.
Brother, alhamdulillah, I know that the birth narrative is mentioned in two Gospels, Gospel of Luke and Gospel of Matthew.
No,
right?
I'm talking about the style of narrative. Are you?
That's fine, brother. You tell me the Gospel of Matthew, which chapter?
Okay, Matthew chapter 1, verse 18-25.
No. I will open the whole chapter, inshallah. I want you to open the whole chapter.
No problem. That's fine.
so people, inshallah, can follow this discussion properly. So let me share my screen in the meantime so we can read it together. Okay. So there's my screen. Okay, so this is stop sharing, and now I share the relevant page. Okay, so Gospel of Matthew. Yes, brother, Gospel of Matthew will be on the screen very soon. Just give it
No problem.
a
Take your
couple
time.
of seconds.
So we can go. Yeah, if you want to start reading all of it's fine, but the relevant portion is verse 18 onward.
Okay, verse 18 you said is the relevant portion. No problem. So let's
And
go
I
to the
haven't given any conclusion yet. So
No, wait.
we'll,
We'll look at then. Okay, first of all, obviously, is it big enough or you want me to read?
it's not big enough at all for me. No,
Okay,
sorry.
no problem. Inshallah, I'm going to read the Gospel of Matthew, and chapter number was, what chapter was it? Chapter number 1, right?
Yes.
Okay. Gospel of Matthew, chapter number 1, verse number 18 onward. Okay, Bismillah. So this is how the birth of Jesus, the Messiah, came about. His mother Mary was pledged to be married to Joseph, but before they came together, she was found to be pregnant through the Holy Spirit because Joseph, her husband, was faithful to the law and yet did not want to expose her to public disgrace. He had in mind to divorce her quietly. But after he had considered this, an angel of the Lord appeared to him in a dream and said, Joseph, son of David, do not be afraid and take Mary home as your wife, because what is conceived in her is from the Holy Spirit. She will give birth to a son, and you are to give him the name Jesus, because he will save his people from their sins. Verse number 22. All this took place to fulfill what the Lord has said through the prophet. The virgin will conceive and give birth to a son, and they will call him Emmanuel, which means
Yeah, I think that's enough.
God with. No, wait, last verse.
Oh,
God with
okay.
us. What last verse? When Joseph woke up, he did what the angel of the Lord had commanded him and took Mary home as his wife, but he did not consummate their marriage until she gave birth to a son, and he gave him the name Jesus. So yes, now your
Okay.
comment.
Yeah. So this clearly shows that Joseph was unaware that she was pregnant when their tie was made, when their match was made. Okay. And this means that she did not tell him. She did not tell her caregivers, her caretakers. If she had told her caretakers, they would have disclosed it to Joseph as his right to know. Okay. So she hid it. And when he found out, when he saw that she was showing signs of pregnancy, he had made up his mind that, you know what, I don't want to disgrace this righteous woman. I will just divorce her. So according to the New Testament, and according to these verses, that night, an angel comes to him in a vision and tells him, don't worry, everything's fine. This is God's plan, and you will name this child Jesus. Okay. So this portion clearly shows that Mary did not disclose the matter. Correct?
I am not giving my point. I'll let you speak first.
Okay. So I'm not going to try to give references that state exactly what Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad alayhi salam has said word per word. If you've studied the Bible, you know that you have to read within the lines of what's happening, because not all the details are given. So for him to draw that conclusion from this verse, it is very plausible. It is very plausible for him to draw the conclusion that Hazrat Maryam did not let anybody know about this, and to not accuse her, but to say that if she had done so, if she had let people know, it would have been much better for the miracle of Jesus. Okay? But she decided not to, for whatever reason. And the reason that he gives is also very plausible. If anybody here has ever served the religion, then you know that nothing is more dear to you than serving the religion and your reputation in that regard. You do not want to sacrifice that. You don't want a blemish on that. So if she hid it, no problem. Now, if you look at the narrative of when she was told that she's going to conceive, it doesn't say that you have conceived now. She had no idea that she was already with Hamal. She didn't know that at that point in time, with that, you want to call it a dream or a vision or a physical, I have no problem with that right now. That's not the issue. We're talking about Christian sources. She did not know that she had become pregnant at that point in time. And it wasn't until later, when the signs showed, when her stomach started to grow, that, oh wow, okay, I am pregnant. And Joseph notices it, and then he has this dilemma. Okay, it's very easy to see this conclusion from these verses. That's what my point of view is. You can disagree. I have no problem.
That's fine. That's fine. You have
But
right
I would
to give.
say that this.
Nasir,
Yeah.
let me comment first, inshallah. Then you can say the next point. So first of all, Nasir, I have put on the screen again It's very, very difficult for me to even, fathom this thought that how Ahmadiyya, either you as a, new person or the previous people, how they are trying to, make the whole case. First of all, you have, Alhamdulillah, you have conceded that this narrative is Mirza Ghulam's position, because you said that he concluded from this matter. That's point
No,
number
no,
one.
no. That's a misrepresentation of what I said.
You said just a minute ago that this is what Mirza Ghulam concluded.
I said that this is Mirza Ghulam Ahmad's analysis of the Gospels that he presented to the Christians to show them how weak their beliefs are.
No,
This has nothing to do with Islamic beliefs. It has nothing to do with.
Mr. Nasir, wait. You have every right after the stream to go back. You said that he concluded, and you said that it's very reasonable to conclude from this, and then you said he concluded.
No, you're misconstruing what I said. You're misconstruing what I
Okay,
said.
no problem. Look, leave it. I don't want.
No. This is very important, brother. Let me address it. I'll address it.
Okay.
I'll address it head on. Okay.
No, you have said first. Let me respond to what you have said before. Okay, let me respond to that first. First of all, I want people to listen what Mirza Ghulam has said and how you try to pay. First of all, number one, the narrative we have read is not found in the Bible. Number one, that's one point very clear, because that's a very specific narrative with very specific details. It was not found in the Gospel. That's point number one. Point number two is, I'm going to present on the screen, Mirza Ghulam has rejected this narrative. He said that this gospel narrative, listen this point very carefully, Mr. Nasir, this gospel narrative is fabrication and it's superficial.
I agree with you, but he has to talk to Christians with their own sources.
No, wait.
That's the whole context here. He's talking to Christians from their own sources, as you would do, as you were doing to me with Andy's sources. This is the principle. This is not a point of contention.
Nasir, no interruption, please. So, point number one, again, very specific narrative I read for the people is not found in the Gospel, and it's not found in any of the Gospels, number one. Number two, Mirza Ghulam Qadiani has rejected the Gospel narrative. He relied on the Jewish narrative, and if you want evidence, I can put on the screen again. So you cannot say this. And point number three is, Razi said the same thing last time, that there is no blame on her. Mirza Ghulam Qadiani is very clear. I want to read this quotation. Even it was read as a part of the whole thing, but I want to emphasize this. It says that, मगर इस तोहमत में सिर्फ यहूदियों का कसूर नहीं, but in this accusation we can't just put the whole blame on the Jews, बल्कि खुद हजरत मरियम से एक बड़ी भारी गलती हुई. Rather, there was a great error or fault on the part of Maryam as well, जिसने यहूद को तोहमत का मौका दिया. And this was the fault of the Maryam, ma'azallah, which gave good reasons or opportunity to the Jews to raise the accusation. And then he gave the detail that the dream was hidden, etc. Now, dream coming, listen this point, Mr. Nasir, very carefully. Dream coming and she hiding and she was afraid. This is a very crucial part of the narrative. And this is, you have not presented even in the Gospel, number one. And number two, even for sake of argument, if you would have shown in the Gospel, Mirza Ghulam has rejected the Gospel narrative. So I don't want you to let go free, by making these statements.
No, that's fine. I think you're not understanding. Like, this is why I was emphasizing the context, and I don't think you're understanding the context yet. He's talking to Christians from Christian sources and showing Christians that their beliefs are not valid. Okay, this has nothing to do with Islamic theology.
This is not found, Nasir, in the Christian sources. This is the elephant in the room you are avoiding. This is
I'm not avoiding
found.
it. I'm trying to explain to you that when you read the Gospels, you have to glean information from it. It doesn't have all the details. Now, if you look at Matthew 18:19, Joseph did not know. I want you to think about it. If Joseph did not know, does that mean he does not know because Mary told him and he forgot? Or does it mean that Mary...
Nasir, before you build something on...
You have to use your akal here. I don't understand. There's no way to do this without your akal. It's very important.
No problem, brother. If you think that my akal is less than yours, that's fine. I would not comment.
I didn't say that. I said you have to use your akal and try to decipher that information from... It's very clear. It's very clear. Joseph did not know.
Nasir, wait. Okay. First of all, Nasir, let me put on the screen so people can see. Are you listening what I'm saying, Nasir? Mirza Ghulam Qadiani, look, with regard to the with regard to the marriage with Joseph, there are two narratives. One is the Christian story found in the Gospel, as you have read. One of them is in the Luke as well, and one is the Jewish version. Mirza Ghulam Qadiani rejected the Christian version by calling it a fabrication and artificial version, and sided with the Jewish version. That is point number one. You are not addressing. Point number two.
I have addressed this. It's not part of the context of this conversation.
Okay, let me respond to that now. If you said this thing now, no problem. It is.
This is what I've been saying for the past. I don't know how long.
My brother. I know we are saying many things obviously for the last few minutes, but let me say this thing very clearly. whatever you have asked me to read from the Gospel of Matthew has nothing to do with the narrative which we are discussing here. That is the problem you are avoiding.
No, I think, okay, let me ask you a question, okay?
Yes.
Can you open that Matthew verse again?
You just tell me the point. Inshallah, I can open that, no problem. You just tell me the point.
The
Nasir,
verse
can you make
clearly
the point?
shows, the verse clearly shows that Joseph was unaware that she was pregnant before. Yes or no?
Is that your point?
That's my question to you. Is that what you is that a conclusion you can draw from that verse?
Are you done?
I'm asking you, yes.
No, okay, no. Now listen to this point carefully. Brother Nasir, this is Alhamdulillah, this is when you read everything in the context, that's when you have the proper understanding. In this narrative, Joseph, before Joseph come in the picture, the people who are accusing Maryam, who are they?
Let's stick to the text and not add others.
I am sticking because the whole discussion is accusation coming on Maryam, right? I'm asking you, who is accusing Maryam?
When do the accusations happen?
Mirza Ghulam is very clear. It's in front of you. He said that when it was 5-month pregnancy.
Exactly. At that point, it's visible. Correct?
You make the point. I'm asking you a question that who accused Maryam?
Well, my brother, obviously it's the Jews that accused her.
No, that is the problem. And if you want, inshallah, I can bring on screen. And now listen, this is where you are not understanding the point. It is listen to this point. If people look at this one, brother Nasir, and my request to you is, my brother in humanity, I am begging you to let me complete this point without interruption, and I want people to listen very carefully. It is the elders of the, according to Ahmadi narrative, it is the elders of the Maryam who discovered this pregnancy, and now they want to hide the matter from the other people. Maryam is telling these elders at that time that, look, I had a dream 5 months ago, but they are doubting her pregnancy. They are not convinced with explanation, and they force her into a haram marriage. I have every reference ready. Now look at this one, brother Nasir. If public already knew, if other than, and that is the key point, no Ahmadi is willing to entertain. If outside public, other than the family, if they already knew that Maryam is pregnant, then how would the family hide this matter by marrying Maryam with the Joseph? Because the family want to hide the matter. So what I'm trying to highlight is, it is the family only which got aware of the whole thing, and now family want to cover it up, and family successfully covered it up. According to Mirza Ghulam, for 2 to 4 years. According to Bashiruddin Mahmud, for up to 30 years. It became a secret. So I am trying to highlight that this is the question of accusation is under discussion, and this accusation is at this point, it is coming from the elders of the Maryam. And if you want a more clear reference, it's coming now, inshallah. You can make your point now, inshallah.
So you didn't
Bismillah.
answer my question about if you understand the conclusion drawn from the verse, which is fine. It's not a problem. It's very clear that he did not know.
No. Wait, brother Nasir. No. Not trying to muddy the water, with all respect, brother. The question you are asking, that is happening after elders have accused her and they have not believed her. The point of accusation at the 5-month pregnancy is under discussion. And you cannot leave this point as it is and jump on to the marriage point. So first you need to
No, I didn't
address,
jump to the marriage point at all.
You did? Because you were not aware of this fact. You are not.
I was asking you if
wait,
Matthew.
let me,
Okay, no problem. I can wait for you. No problem.
Okay. Now see, what I'm saying is, you are not aware of the fact, and no Ahmadi cleric who came last time was aware of the fact that at the time of 5-month pregnancy and accusation, according to Mirza Ghulam's narrative, it is only those elders who got aware, and elders through this marriage hid the matter from everybody else.
Can I say something, if you guys don't mind?
Yes, Bismillah. Yeah.
So, Nasir, according to Matthew, it says, this is how the birth of Jesus the Messiah came about. His mother was pledged to be married to Joseph. So according to the New Testament, Joseph and Mary were already set to be married, meaning they were engaged, to say. But before they came together, meaning before Mary and Joseph consummated that marriage, she was found to be pregnant. So the biblical narrative is Joseph and Mary were engaged to each other. Before the marriage was to be consummated, Mary was pregnant. That's the biblical narrative that you have presented from Matthew.
Correct.
Mirza Ghulam Ahmad has says the opposite, the exact opposite. Mary was found to be pregnant, then they got her engaged to Joseph. You see, there's a delay in logic. The biblical narrative and the narrative that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad mentions are two different narratives. The biblical narrative is Mary and Joseph were engaged. Mary gets pregnant. Before consummation of marriage, Mary gets pregnant. And then Joseph has doubts. That says Matthew, what you have presented. Mirza Ghulam Ahmad says the opposite. Mary was found to be pregnant. Then they get her engaged to Joseph.
Yes, yes.
So this is exactly the opposite. Like, I mean, you cannot reconcile these two. There's no way to reconcile these two.
Okay,
Anyways, I just wanted to say that, just to bring the conversation.
That's fair. I can look into that. But at the same time, it has to be remembered. I mean, you can accuse me of ignoring things or anything like that, but the context of this explanation remains that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad is talking to Christians from Christian sources. Now, what he concludes is everything found in Christian sources. That's debatable. We can talk about that. I looked up one issue because that was highlighted in the previous video.
But one thing
brother, Maran, please, brother. Okay, brother Nasir, I want you to focus on this one. This is because I want to clarify. I said earlier, brother, as well. Let me repeat it again. I am not basing anything on one writing on one book.
That's the problem here. That's the problem here. Because
let me
this
complete.
work is polemics.
Wait. This is Ruhani Khazan, volume 20, page 356. It says Al-Qissa. You can check the classical Urdu. When somebody says Al-Qissa, in Arabic they say Al-Muhim, which means cutting the long story short. Now the narrator or the speaker is going to give you a shorter version of what happened. Okay, it says Hazrat Maryam ka nikah mahaz shubha ki wajah se hua. That the marriage of Mary only took place, mahaz, only took place because of the doubt. Who was doubting? Look at this one. बुजुर्गों को मरियम की निस्बत नाजायज हमल का शुबा पैदा हो गया. It is the elders of the Maryam who are doubting, who are accusing, and who are causing her marriage. No, look at this one. If outside, and wallahi, I wish I can say this point in more clear terms. If outside public, listen everybody carefully. If outside public was already aware of the whole issue, then would it make any sense that the family got her married with Joseph the carpenter, and in this way they covered the whole matter? How can they cover? If people already knew that she is already pregnant before the marriage, how can they cover? So it is it is a must employed thing in this whole narrative. That is only in Ahmadi narrative. It is the family. Clearly on the screen, it is the family which is doubting. It is the family which is accusing. It is the family which is organizing the marriage. And after they have made the decision of getting her married, that's when Joseph the carpenter come into the picture. Marwan Bhai was trying to point out that Joseph the carpenter come into the picture very late in Ahmadi narrative. And I again, brother, one last thing I want to say very importantly. Wallahi, brother Nasir, I am not saying that you are being dishonest. No, all I'm saying is that this issue has not been studied in detail even by the Ahmadis themselves. So there are many aspects of the issue which they are genuinely unaware of. But the aspect which they are unaware of, they're highly problematic. Highly. Why? Because if the very family is the one who are accusing, then who they want to clarify? Because family itself is accusing. How is it possible? And last, inshallah, then I will let you give time, inshallah, to fully respond to what you said. Let me just, inshallah, mention one thing on the screen because this thing is also very important. And this is reference is given as well. Mirza Ghulam Qadiani is saying that he has found a book from a Fazil Yahudi जिसने सही तौर पे इस उकदा को हल कर दिया है. He has found a book of a learned, virtuous, esteemed Jew which has solved this problem properly, authentically. What is the problem? मरियम ने खावन कर लिया और तौरात के हुक्म को तोड़ दिया. That is the problem. Mirza is conceding the problem. He is not disagreeing with that. So repeatedly saying this from the Ahmadi side, that Mirza Ghulam was quoting Jews and Christians. He was giving the answer. My brother Nasir, there's no such thing. Mirza Ghulam is researching the matter and then giving his own conclusions, but conclusions are highly problematic. Now, inshallah, please, you make your point now.
So I think let's agree on this, okay? This entire page from Naseem Dawat was presented out of context. Let's agree on this first.
No. Why to agree on this? Why?
You have to agree
Why?
on it. The reason
My brother Nasir.
I already explained why, but I'll explain to you again. You cannot present it as the Ahmadiyya narrative. That's not
Okay,
the
wait.
context of the book.
No. Let me respond, because then there's no point us spending last 30 minutes and then you making this comment. I would not allow you to, get
This
scot
is
free
the
for
same
this.
comment I said in the beginning, brother.
Okay, see, listen this point, and I am not just saying to you because public is listening as well. Mirza Ghulam Qadiani, what he has said in this particular account, which I have read from Naseem Dawat, there are multiple attestations of the same account from the other writings of Mirza Ghulam. So this thing is highly unacademic to say that, here you are, when I am telling you that there are multiple attestations of the same narrative. Yes, you can ask me the question that show me those multiple attestations. I will show you, no problem at all. They're all ready, alhamdulillah.
So
But
what
what
I
I'm
will
trying
do,
to say, sorry,
what I will do, brother, you've
yes,
shown those references on the screen.
yes.
But because I have already seen you quote one page out of context, I will look at those quotes myself and look at the context of them and see if your conclusion is correct. I
Okay,
cannot
last point.
accept.
Okay,
No, let me finish, because
okay,
I think this
okay,
is a good point to end it on. It's very fair.
okay,
You have
okay.
shown Naseem Dawat as the Ahmadiyya narrative, as of what we believe about Hazrat Maryam. Okay, but the context of those pages is as we're talking to Christians about their beliefs and what can be gleaned from their sources. Okay, and that's a misrepresentation of his writings. This is how you've presented it, and if I'm not wrong, that's how you presented it in the previous streams. Now you've presented 3 other quotes. That's fine.
No, wait. Point to point. So because you said something, let me
No
make
problem.
my last comment, and then inshallah we can move on next point. Here's my last comment. It is absolutely dishonesty on not you, on anyone's part, just by making this statement without providing anything from the context which can tell us that this was not Mirza Ghulam's position. I have given 2 reasons. Number one, we have already established that if it is said that this narrative was a Christian narrative, that is a lie. Because we have already seen it is not found in the Christian narrative, number one. Number two, Mirza Ghulam has rejected Christian narrative and he has sided with the Jewish narrative. So it's very highly problematic even to digest this point, that why you keep saying this when I'm repeatedly saying Mirza Ghulam on this matter has rejected the Christian narrative and sided with the Jewish narrative. Number two, this narrative is not found in the Christian literature. Marwan, I pointed out to you that in the Christian narrative, Joseph is coming at a different point, and in the Ahmadi narrative, is coming a different, because Ahmadi narrative is a Jewish narrative. And last point is, there is absolutely not a shred of evidence, the 10 pages we have seen, that can show us that there was anything in the context which can change the understanding of what we have quoted. Why? Because there are multiple attestations of the same account. So if lastly, just to summarize my whole point, if I would have taken this account just from the Naseem Dawat, and you were saying that, okay, it is out of context, I could still entertain your point. But I'm saying that there are multiple attestation of the same narrative, which Mirza Ghulam has mentioned in different places. Now, the only thing you can ask me is my moral obligation that produce to you the evidence that the same narrative is said by Mirza Ghulam in the other books as well. And inshallah, I will do that. So don't say, please, brother, don't say. Now, this you made your comment that I was taking this one thing out of context. I have made my point that it's absolutely wrong and unfair because this one account has multiple attestations. Now, inshallah, let's move on to next point.
So I don't want to take much more of your time, but I think it's very clear. You asked me, you said that I did not present any evidence. And the whole reason I went through those 10 pages is to show you the buildup of the argument. And you mentioned that afterwards. So let's try to remember what's been going on. The reason we went to the 10 pages is so we can see the context, correct? Now, if you say there's other quotes that attest that this is Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad's belief, I have no problem with that statement, but I will research those now, okay? Because you've quoted them, you've shown them on the video. I have no problem looking at those quotes, just as I looked in your first Naseem Dawat quotation that you presented. I went into it, I looked at it deeply, and the context of that is very different than how you present it. And I'll explain why. I'll explain why. I'll explain why. Because you drew a conclusion. You drew a conclusion at the end. You drew the conclusion. Hold on, brother. Let me explain it. Please.
Nasir, just 30 seconds, please. Look,
Okay.
Nasir, first of all, I acknowledge your integrity. You said that when I said there are multiple attestations of this narrative in other books, you said that you are happy to that. Now, if you are conceding that yes, you are willing to entertain the other attestations of, then you don't say that this was a misquotation. Rather, the logical or honest thing is that until then, you suspend your position. That is the logical thing. If you are still going to give the verdict that I misquoted something, then I have to contest that. I have to contest because I don't want to have any blame on my integrity. Because there are two options. if you are conceding the point that there are multiple attestations which you are willing to go and research, which you have not done before, then honest thing is that you suspend your conclusion with regard to the Nasima Dawat. If you are saying no, Nasima Dawat is out of context, that is going in a circle, then I have to prove it's not out of context. So please, brother, make it very clear statement. I don't want to move any further. Honestly and fairly, you make a statement that yes, I am claiming there are multiple attestations which I will provide you. Inshallah, I will attach the whole file. If you send me any of your email, inshallah, I will give you the whole file. You research it. But until then, your position is suspended.
Before Nasir says something, I just want to say something. Just 1 second, Nasir. I just want to recap this whole thing because I think Nasir is trying to make a point. I do see his point, but what he's not realizing is the narrative that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad is presenting is problematic. So just for everyone, Nasir is saying that this book is trying to show, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad is trying to show the superiority of Islam over Hinduism and Christianity. What Nasir is saying is that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad is trying to show that look how the Jews try to cover up the problematic pregnancy of Mary. This is what he's trying to say without, like, these are not the words he has used, but this is what I think he's trying to say. So he's trying to say that the Islamic teaching is much better than how the Jews try to cover up the problem. If this is what Nasir is saying, he can correct me after. There's two problems with this, Nasir. First of all, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad does not present the Islamic view of how the pregnancy of Mary was dealt. So in other words, he's not showing how Islam is superior to how the Jews dealt with the pregnancy of Mary. So in other words, if the Jews dealt with the pregnancy of Mary by forcing her into marriage, then how did Islam view this problem? Now, the Quranic narrative absolves Mary of everything. There was no marriage that happened. Now, the narrative that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad is presenting cannot even be found in the quotations that you presented from Matthew, because the chronology is different. The chronology is totally different. In Mirza Ghulam Ahmad's narrative, Joseph was brought out of the blue to cover up the problematic marriage. The problematic pregnancy, meaning Joseph was some ordinary Joe. He was brought in so the pregnancy can be covered. This is the representation of the situation by Mirza Ghulam Ahmad. Whereas in Matthew, no, they were already engaged. Consummation didn't happen. Mary got pregnant. So now, if Nasir is saying that Nasima Dawat cannot be used against Mirza Ghulam Ahmad because Mirza Ghulam Ahmad is defending Islam, the point that Imtiaz is trying to say is, okay, the problem is the Mirza Ghulam Ahmad narrative. It cannot be found anywhere except from some Jewish fazil, from a learned man of Jews who, according to Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, did research on this whole thing and presented it as historical facts. So I think this is the point that is going over each other's head. Farhan is saying that you cannot basically you cannot use this book against Mirza Ghulam Ahmad because he's trying to defend Islam. But Imtiaz is saying the narrative that is being presented, is unfounded anywhere except from this obscure historian. I think that's the point that's going across both heads. You're speaking over each other, and I think that's where the problem is that Nasir has to understand that even if Mirza Ghulam Ahmad is defending Islam, he's presenting a view that doesn't exist. It's unfound.
Marwan bhai, mashallah, you very well explained the problem which is happening in this conversation, and obviously we want to give Nasir bhai now the opportunity to give his point of view because he has to give this. So just one, Nasir bhai, I seek your apology because I said earlier that I want to present this reference. So inshallah, I will read this and inshallah I'll let you speak after that. Reference is given on the top. It says that गर्ज इस यहूदी फाजिल का ये बयान जो हमने लिखा और इस बयान से बखूबी समझ आ सकता है कि क्यों जरूरत निकाह की पड़ी. He said that the statement of the esteemed learned Jew I have presented, it can clarify it very well that why this marriage between Joseph and Mary has to happen. And then he says, और इसके मुकाबिल में जो इंजीलों में बयान किया है, and we know there are two Anajil, Luke and Matthew, which has the birth narrative. It says that as compared to this, which has been mentioned in the Gospels. कि गोया मरियम सिद्दीका का मामूली तौर पे, जैसा कि दुनिया जहां में दस्तूर है, यूसुफ से नाता हुआ था, that as though as it was an ordinary marriage, as it always happens between two people, so same was the case with Maryam and Joseph. Mirza Ghulam says that this position of the gospel ये बिल्कुल दरोग और बनावट है. He says this gospel narrative, दरोग mean fabrication, lie, and बनावट mean superficial, artificial. It's not real. So what I'm trying to say, brother Nasir, is lastly, inshallah, before you start your point of view, that you presenting Gospel of Matthew, number one, Matthew does not have that narrative. Number two, Mirza Ghulam is rejecting the Gospel narrative. He is siding with the Jewish narrative. This is all I'm trying to highlight. And point number three, either Christian narrative or Jewish narrative. Marwan Bhai is repeatedly saying both of them are problematic for a Muslim to believe. Why? Because Quran has clarified the whole matter anyways.
Okay, so I only have 5% left on my battery, so I'm going to be very brief. Like I said, I'll look at the references that you presented in light of this new explanation, or the same explanation you've given again. But what I want to make clear is that Ahmadis, in the beginning of the 10 pages, he said you don't have to go into all the branches, you have to focus on the main things, and that helps you make your decision. He decided to expand on some of the branches in his text. I'll give you that. Okay. Now, whether you agree with its explanation or not, that's a different story. Is that the Quranic position? I don't think that's what he's saying. Okay. In the previous stream, you were saying that he is basically explaining the Quranic position, or he's giving a commentary contrary to the Quranic position.
No. I did not say
let me
this.
finish. Let me finish, please. I've been listening to you both for many minutes now.
Nasir, ask me before you say something. I did not say this, what you said.
In the previous stream,
no.
I said
yeah,
in the previous stream.
Let me tell you what my
I only have 4% left, so if my battery dies, I'm sorry. I will come back though. I have no problem, and we can continue.
In 10 seconds, what I said is I never said that Mirza Ghulam. No, I said that Mirza Ghulam is accepting and imposing a unknown Jewish narrative and rejecting the authentic Quranic narrative.
No, he's not doing this. He's showing Christians from, let's say, Jewish and Christian sources. Okay, let's say that. Okay, would you agree with that?
No.
Okay. So just Jewish sources, is that your point?
Mirza Ghulam is siding with the Jews. Mirza Ghulam is siding with the Jews, and according to Quran, Jews are the blameworthy culprits.
Okay, I understand your point. I only have 3% left now. I won't be able to make a proper conclusion to this.
Go ahead.
But I thank you for your time, and I hope you understood my point about.
I think his phone cut off. Yeah, it looks like his phone cut off. I think the one point.
Wait. He might come back because we want to make sure that if he comes back, he gets his time. Okay, I believe yes, Marwan, you're right. He's gone. So let me make my 30-second comment on the discussion. So point number one, from the entire discussion, he was trying to say that we are taking things out of context from Naseem Dawat. My response was that this same narrative has multiple attestations in the other books as well. It's not just based on Naseem Dawat. Nasir said this narrative is found in the Gospels, who said that, first of all, from a principal point of view, Mirza has rejected the Gospel narrative.